All right, so we're back to part 2 of this whole site plan, and I want to now talk about, like, in general, site plan and vocabulary. First, property line. So property line is your legal boundary and your legal description, right? And that will be required. Usually property lines are provided by a surveyor, and it's probably about, depending on the size of the project, for most houses it's about anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. So let's label the property line so that we can tell the plan checker that the property line is so many feet long and so many feet wide. So in Revit, it's going to be called a tag because it's actually a intelligent item. So we're going to go TG, or you can say tag right up here. So TG, and then I picked the TG. I picked the property line and I click it to quote unquote tag it. And it's going to tell me, hey, I don't know, I don't have a tag loaded in this particular file. Do you want to load one? You're going to say yes. And you should be able to go to this pathway here, which should be defaulted. So you go to English Imperial, annotation, and then there should be a property tag here. Nope. Maybe our civil. Of course, civil. So here's civil. We're going to just take a property line tag, and we'll just take that, I guess. And then now it tags it, right? So I'm going to take off the leader because I want to stick right on the line. And it's telling me that it's, north exactly straight up, but it tells me it's 177 feet. I'd like you guys to do some Googling and see if you got some great custom families, but I don't want to turn this into a Revit class, so I'm going to just leave that, and I'll accept that also if you guys have that. So here's that, and I'm going to tag the front. So go to tag. So that's how you tag and annotate property lines. And I know that I glanced over these kind of setbacks here, but that is really, really important when you guys are laying out and creating any project. Every project has a setback requirement. And the setback simply means is that from the property line, you have to put any kind of structure set back a certain distance from the property. So this is an ADU, so in California, ADU setback guidelines are 4 feet on the side yard and 4 feet in the rear yard, right? So technically, we could have actually built this building, built this structure, 4 feet away instead of 5 feet away. I could move it this way 1 feet, and then in the rear, I could push this house back. But in this case, the client actually, because they have so much space, they wanted a little bit more room in the rear, so they wanted a 6'10" setback and 5 feet. But you are required to do the minimum setback or greater, right? So that is a setback. And how do you determine the setback? Well, every city has a certain zoning designation. So in any particular city, they might have residential zoning, high dense, multifamily zoning, business zoning. So depending on your property, you have to go to the zoning map at the city. Usually they're all available online. Determine what kind of zone you fall into, whether it's an R1, R2, RL3 or whatever designation that they have in each city. And they should have setback requirements for the type of zone that your property's in. Okay, and then now we're talking about north, project north, and true north. True north is actually quite important. Obviously, from an architectural standpoint, when you're designing, you want to know where north is, south, west, east. In general, south side is going to get the most sun exposure. So from environmental control and just making your house more energy efficient, you might want to minimize the amount of windows on the south side. North side gets no direct sunlight, so it's a perfect area to put in lots of glass and lots of windows. In this case, this would be the north side. East, you get a lot of sun in the morning because that's where the sun rises, and west, you get a lot of sun in the late afternoon or early evening as the sun is setting. So those are just kind of fundamental things that you should know as a young architect. But more importantly, also, you just need to locate the property correctly. Where is north? Because later on, you're going to start referring to, an elevation. If you're drawing an elevation on this side, that's going to be called the north elevation. So right now, we like to draw on the screen straight up and down, just because everything's a lot easier to draw when things are 90 degrees. And if you look down here, it'll say orientation will be project north. So this means is that it's not true north, meaning, you could have a city that's on a slight angle or a property that's slightly rotated to north. So we kind of have a project north so that we can orient it straight up and down. But I'll want to now go to true north. So if I come down here and go to true north, right now our true north is the same direction just by default. But if you guys look at the plan, it's like rotated roughly, I don't know, maybe 15, 17 degrees, right? So what I'm going to do is you make sure that you turn your orientation to true north, and you want to go to manage, position, rotate true north. So I'm going to go and then click, so you can see here I can just kind of rotate this thing. So I want to go straight up, and then after that I'm going to rotate it. Let's just rotate it 18 degrees. Now if you had a survey, it'll tell you exactly how many degrees is rotated, but right now we're going to just use 18 as a reference, and then it turns everything. And what's really cool is that Revit already knows that this line lives 18 degrees rotated from north. So it's a very intelligent, that's what happens when you have a tag and you model everything, physically. So that's how you rotate to true north. And obviously when you're drawing, you want to have it at project north so that everything's upright, if you will. And then when you place it on your site plan, you want it at true north. I mean, actually, this isn't too bad. We can probably continue to work on this just using the true north view. All right, so now let's go ahead and put some north arrow. So to put in a north arrow, you need to be in annotate because it's a 2D item. You click on symbol, and then it should show up. So right now we have a couple of 2D symbol families loaded, a slope arrow, center line, and then a north arrow with the circle. So you're going to click that, and then just going to bring it out here. And obviously the north is actually rotated. I think we did it 18 degrees if I'm not mistaken. So let's just take that and then move it 18 degrees. So there's our north, and it's, rotated. And then there's like these slope arrows that you'll see on the PDF handout, and those represent how the water is going to flow away from the house and out into the street. So again, you want to go to the symbols tab here, and then there will be a slope arrow, and then you could actually place them, and then you'll have to just kind of rotate it in the direction that you guys want to show. So I'm going to go here so I can grab it, and then it should slope away to the street. Right? So you're going to show a slope. You could make copies. Generally speaking, most plan checkers like to show the slope, pushing away from the property, and then a certain flow line, basically. So go ahead and add all the slope. You have the north arrow, the spot elevations. Try to make it as close to the PDF diagram that you see. But let me see, what is this? And in the meantime, I'm going to now take this site plan view, and then we're going to load it onto our site plan sheet. All right, so we're going to come down here, And let's open up the site plan sheet. So here's our sheet, and this is where we want to put the view of our site plan. And here's our site plan. You just simply drag it in, and voila, you have your site plan almost. So now your job is to annotate all the things, like change the project name, and of course the project name is going to be your project, so you know it'll be Garcia Residence or whatever, Williams Residence or ADU. So the project name, you're going to use your name. That way when you turn it in, I'll know it's your project. I think the project address, I gave you some random, 134.8 something something, so you need to type that in. And then here, project directory, you're going to key in with the regular text tool, and you're going to key in all the information. So the project directory should be the architect or / drafter. In your case, you're also going to be your own architect. So go ahead and put your name, your email, your phone number. You can use a hypothetical address, but I want you to fill it all out so that the site plan sheet looks pro. Project data would be, again, your address of the property and the owner's contact information. So that also will go there, along with the APN numbers and all of that. So you guys have some clerical work to do, and then just fill out all the stuff. I think all the lot coverage stuff is already pre-filled out, no big deal. And then let's talk, oh yeah, we should do this sheet schedule. So drawing sheet index usually goes on the cover sheet. We call this the cover sheet. And that's where we specify to the contractor, plan checker, whomever is going to read these plans, how many sheets are in this package and the name of each sheet, right? So to create a sheet schedule, you're going to come here and you're going to right click and you're going to say new schedule, and you're going to go to sheets. Where are you? Sorry guys, I was looking at the wrong schedule. So don't do the new schedule, but if you look down here, there's a new sheet list. So you click on that, and then this is where you want to tell Revit what kind of information you want to draw. So we want number, sheet name, sheet number. That should be it, but feel free to put in whatever, more, check in more things, and so you can see what it's kind of showing you, because you can always select something and then take it away. But in this case, I think we only need the sheet number and the sheet name, and I want the sheet number to show up first, so I'm going to click that up and then click OK, and then this is what it'll give me. So right now I have 3 sheets, and of course you guys are going to have more sheets. You're going to probably end up with 4 sheets in your case. So I have 3 sheets, and all 3 sheets show up. So that's excellent. So now that that's here, you can actually double click on that, or maybe it's a single click. I just double clicked and then type in the name of the sheet. You can close it out. And then now you'll be able to expand that, and here's my drawing sheet index, or drawing. Oops. I can also change the name here also. And then drag that in. And there it is. And so whenever you add another sheet down here, it'll automatically populate. Alright, so my demo is going to stop here, but once you guys detail out more so that this drawing looks a little bit more complete, fill in all the proper addresses and annotate properly all the information, go ahead and print this out as a PDF, or you could even do a screenshot and turn that in to me, and we will see you on the next module.